Hey everyone, my name is Farokfeda. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to take things to the next level by automating the deployment of our Laravel source code to AWS ECS Fargate using CodePipeline. In previous video, I did to demonstrate you using a simple way in which I have created the Docker file on my system, and that Docker file I've directly uploaded to an ECR repository, and then from there I have deployed on ECS. But in today's video, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create code pipeline. That pipeline actually compiles the code, create the Docker image, put that Docker image onto ECR repository, and ECS will deploy that application. So this is quite an automative way. So in that way, then you have to just make the application changes, whatever you like on the go, whatever the programming you do. As soon as you push the code will go to here, to my repository, to the repository, whatever the repository you have, and then from there it will be going there directly and deployed. So let's a little recap. This is the Laravel blog app application. I did create in last two videos. You could find those videos here, how to containerize a Laravel app with Docker, and then the Docker image. In this video, I've dockerized a normal application and start working on my system, and then in the next video I've deployed in on ECS. So this is a simple blog application in which we can create anything like this and then post it over there. So our post is online. So basic idea is to just demonstrate a Laravel application. So this is a working version of our Laravel application, and now in this video I just need to create a code pipeline. So from the last video I have already created the database here. So database is here. Now I need to convert it into automated way. So code pipeline, here we go. So first we need to create a pipeline. So how the pipeline will create, I'll just select a custom pipeline name. The name I would like to have, you could use any name. It is going to create new service role as well. Just leave it as is, and then in advance it is going to create a default S3 bucket. So how this pipeline works, let me little brief it. So pipeline will have 2 to 3 components. Pipeline means version control. I can use code commit, but since my code is on GitHub, so I will use GitHub version control, and then in the second phase I will use CodeBuild. CodeBuild is an AWS service in which code will be compiling, so code will be building. So I will use it to build Docker image, and then deploy. I will deploy to ECS. So if I'm using these 3 services, then what my pipeline will do, this whole means a complete pipeline. So what pipeline will do, so pipeline get the code from the version control from the GitHub and put it into S3, and then code build. Once the build is been built, it will be uploaded to ECR and some reference file that I will also show you the reference file. Those reference file it will also store in S3, and this gets the thing from S3 from the source artifact, and then code build will put into the build artifact, and from here it will get build artifact and put it here. So the concept is very easy to digest, very easy to understand. So let me demonstrate you. It will be quite easy to understand. So here it it is saying new service role and default new creation, and I'm going to use the default key. Next, it is saying the service provider. It is asking actually which version control I would like to have. So I'm using S3, ECR, whatever. So I'm going to use this GitHub app. So app is here, and then it is saying I have already created a connection, but let me create a new one to demonstrate you. So let's put the name, something like that, anything I could use connecting to GitHub. And now I would like to have to install a new app. Now it takes me to GitHub and asking me to log in here. Okay, install and authorize. Now it is saying to connect. Now my application has been, my version control has been connected. Now which repository I would like to connect? Let me search for this Laravel blog app. So here it is, Laravel blog app. Which branch I would like to have, means since I have the only one branch, so I will be using main. Otherwise, whatever the branch you would like to integrate, select the branch accordingly. So see, it is auto fetching all the required fields since I have connected with the GitHub. And then code pipeline default, just leave it as is. That's it. And then it is saying build, which is optional. Since I'm creating my pipeline, so I will have build and deploy as well. So in here, what I'm going to do, instead of these commands, I will use this build provider, and I will be using AWS CodeBuild. Since I don't have anything here, so I have to create the project. So I just name it CodeBuild Laravel app. Additional configuration, no need for that. On demand, that is fine. That is fine. Compute type EC2. Instead of using Amazon Linux, I will be using Ubuntu standard. That is fine. So how CodeBuild is using? CodeBuild is basically AWS manage EC2 or the Lambda function. So how it is being used, whenever we activate it, we send anything to it, the container start, or you may say an EC2 instance will start, or the Lambda function will start and do whatever we instruct to do using buildspec.yml file that I will discuss with you in bit detail in a moment. So it will be creating those things, and accordingly, once the job has been done, it destroyed the EC2 instance or the Lambda function. So this is how we don't need to run an EC2 instance all the time. It is quite helpful to manage the cost. So whenever and how long it is required, it just build it. You can also use in a build process a Jenkins if you do have that server as well, but I don't have anything like this, and I would like to use CodeBuild. That is how we are going to use it. So that is fine. Newer service role. So this service role will be created. Additional requirement, that is fine. No need to change anything. That is fine. And it is saying, do we want to place our CodeBuild EC2 instance inside a VPC? I don't require as of now, because it just need to create an image and push it to ECR. That is fine. So the minimum is required 3 GB memory and 2 vCPU. That is fine. And we don't need to put anything in here. And I just need to put insert build commands as well, or use buildspec.yml file. So I can use either but let's say build command, switch to editor. So I come up over here in the editor. So if I come here, and here we do have buildspec.yml file as well. So this is the whole instruction that what it needs to do. Let me try to explain it. So it seems quite complicated, but it's very simple. So this is like dockercompose.yml, because since it is a YAML file, but we pass the commands in here that AWS service will understand, or CodeBuild will understand. So it has phases: pre-build, in pre-build state. So we do have command AWS version, since it is AWS container or the EC2 instance it is going to create, so it does have AWS CLI installed. And then in here I'm saying a ECR value, AWS SSM, get parameter, required AWS region, name. What is this? So here actually I am saying just go to this location in AWS SSM parameter store and get the parameter what is there. So here I will create later on this path in parameter store and store the ECR, my repository over there. So repository I will create and put it here, so it will get the repository value and save it in ECR value, and then I'm just echoing whatever in the ECR value. And then later on, like in our last video, what I did, I just log into ECR and pushed manually from here my whatever the image I have created. Since here I am going to build the image here, so this is the command to log in, and then this is a commit hash. It is getting a commit hash that whatever the commit is there, I will be getting a commit hash, and I will be putting this commit hash equal to latest as an image tag. So image tag I will have I have dragged it through, and here in the next way I do have all the env components. Like I do have the env here. If I check cat.env, so I do have env here. So these are the commands, or these are the values, not the commands. Key value, app name, Laravel, this thing, that thing, and then these are the environment variables that I'm going to set here, and it is getting all the thing, and it will be auto populated. So, and it will be creating an env. Here I am creating an env. And then similarly, AWS secret manager, I'm using secret manager to store database credentials. So I will be creating this secret manager over there, AWS secret, and storing AWS password. So once all this has been done, what I am doing, I am just replacing PHP 8.2 FPM with my own public image here, public repository. Why I need to do that? Because if I'm using this one, then soon after that, since this is from the Docker Hub, and once Docker has seen a request is keep coming, if you are building frequently, let's suppose you have 10 or 20 or 30 developers who are working simultaneously, so every time whenever they push the code, this pipeline will start to building it. Once frequently request goes from AWS to Docker Hub, they start blocking it. This means limit reach or use the paid version or whatever. So the solution is I have uploaded my own image, php-fpm, this image here, and use inside my image. So this image I will also be uploading soon later on. So this is just a 100-feet overview. So that's it. Now whatever the Docker file I do have, I'm just printing it because I have changed these value. I just need to check means everything is fine. So that is not necessary, but I'm just putting it here. And then I have created a start script. So once in ECS, in the last video, if you have seen that, I have put a Docker component over there, a Docker commands over there, a lot of commands are there. So for that, I am just creating on the fly a bash script, means touch start.sh and then echoing shebang bin sh into start.sh, and whatever the command is required to run the container, keep running the container. So I'm just putting all those commands in here. So commands are here, everything is in place, and once it's been done, what it do, it just build it, and then after that push into ECR repository. Here it is just pushing into a ECR repository, and then as well as whatever image URI it has and whatever the ECS application name or the container name, it just gets it and creating an image definition.json file. So that file will be used in a code deploy or the deployment phase of my pipeline. So too much theory and these things are there. So what I just need to do, I just need to copy all of it, and where is my, yes, it is here. I'm just removing it, putting it all things in here. So these values are here, that is fine. Continuing to code pipeline, might take some time to complete it. Yeah, that's it. It is here. CodeBuild Laravel project. Input artifact, since I have told you means why S3 is needed. S3 is needed. So CodeBuild is getting the value from here, from input artifact, input source artifact. Enable automated retry, that is fine, and then next, and it is saying deploy, which is optional. So as of now I am just skipping a deploy stage and I will be configuring it later. So this pipeline has been created. Now I'm just going to create the pipeline, and policy called this already exists, duplicate name or not, okay, fine, no problem. It is just saying that because before this video I just created a test run in which it might create the same policy. So the policy name, it is saying that need to be changed, or the role name need to be changed. Where is the policy? Yeah, this is the policy. I'm just putting it here one. Okay, next. It is fine, this is same, and that is also fine, that is also fine. And skip the deploy stage and creating a pipeline. Let me try to fix it. Let me just refresh it. That is fine. GitHub app, I did create it, so using it. Okay, Laravel blog app. Make sure it is the same Laravel blog app. Branches main. That's it. Go here and find AWS CodeBuild. This project I have just created. So I have selected it. Deploy phase, I'm going to just remove it. And this is create pipeline. Now the pipeline has been created, and in the first try it is going to fail. So don't worry, because in build stage I have defined too many things which is not exist as of now. Now it is failed. Let me go to code build and try to start fixing those things. So it is here. It is saying phase context code command execution. So if I come here and come to edit, here the first command, it is saying ECR value to get these things. First of all, it is not here, and I have not yet created ECR. So first I need to create ECR, and then later on I will be saving this value over here. So let's come up here, ECR container registry. Okay, fine. Private repository, there is no repository, and I will be creating Laravel blog app. Yes, it should be mutable. Now it has been created, and this is URI. So just keep in mind, it is trying to get this URI from this path, and this is where in SSM parameter store. So let me go to SSM parameter store, system manager store, and here I just need to go to parameter store. So it is creating parameters. So parameter usually used to store key value here, and this is the path or the name I'm just going to use, and the value I'm just going to put it this value. I just copy and put it here. So this is the value I've just created, and since my this code pipeline, or specifically this code build, is going to access SSM parameter store here, SSM parameter store, as well as ECR. So these two things it is going to access. So I just need to check the role which is attached with this code build and try to get permission accordingly. So code build role is here. It is here, and now I just need to go to IAM. I just need to go to role. I just need to modify an existing role. So the role is here. So it has the default at the time of creation. It just have a log entry and S3, which I have already told you why S3 has been used to get and use the source artifact and then putting an artifact back. So S3 is here. I just need to allow SSM parameter store. So just put SSM full access. See, full access is not been recommended, but I'm being lazy. I'm just getting this approach. So you just need a read access actually, and whatever the exact access is required, you just need to put that. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just adding the whole thing here. So SSM parameter full access has been added in this role, and then next thing what I need to just put here, EC2 container registry full access. So we just need to push the image into the registry. So that is, I have selected a full access. Accordingly, whatever you need, just use a specific permission. So these two permission I have created, and these two are here. So that's for this role. And now get back, because I have set it up this, and if I run it, then hopefully it will get ECR value and it will be able to log into this step as well. ECR login would be successful, and then it will break here because these parameters it's not going to find itself. So I just need to create these parameters as well. These parameters you would like to have it to store your env. So here env, if I to clear it, and this is my working Laravel application, cat.env, it is here. So key is Laravel underscore name. So whatever is required, you can consult with your developer as well. So what value in env is required, you just need to store those values. Only those values are here. So here, if you can see, I do have a quite long env, but all these values will not be required. So only few values are required, and I will be using only those values. So accordingly, you have to use or consult with your developer that I'm just putting a wrong thing here. So whatever is required, you just need to consult with your developer, and they can tell you in exactly what is required. So this is one variable. Now I just need to create a multiple variables as well. One, let me create it quickly. So second one is app.env. In production application, you don't have to leave debug mode true. It has to be false. But since I am just deploying it for a testing purpose or the lab purpose or for the tutorial purpose or to demonstrate you, that is why I'm just keeping it true. And then I'm just putting this database connections. So these are the value, I'm just putting it here. And the next is username and password. These value I'm not going to put in parameter store, but instead I'm going to put it in what we call secret manager. So it is from AWS as a secret manager, and this is a pricing module, but it is quite secure and safe. Even it recommends auto rotation and other features as well. So I'm just going to put it like this: username, admin, and password. Password would be just saved here. Here is a password. Okay, since I have created and used the same database that I have created earlier, just change the password. So this password is here. I just need to name my secret. So I'm just going to check the secret here. I'll use this name. You can add the description as well, but I'm not going to do anything else here. It is saying automatic rotation. If I enable it, then I can automatically rotate these passwords. So good for the production environment in which you just need to keep rotating database password. So if God forbids a password has been leaked or something like that, so there is a less chances of harm. And that's it. I have stored the password. You have successfully stored the password. Here it is. So if I come over here and say secret manager, it is here. So similarly, I have created full access to these two. I believe I just need to put the access to secret manager as well. AWS secret manager read write, that permission will also be required. So these are the permission I have added. Now I believe everything has been set it up, and it's time to reinitiate my pipeline. So I didn't change anything in here, so I don't do anything. Instead, I just need to run this pipeline again. So release change, whenever I do the release change, it will manually trigger the pipeline. So let's see if it is successful or not. So it comes into a build stage. So once it has been built, it will push whatever ECR. If I go to the Elastic Container Registry, it is here. So image should be here. So apart from it, I have used another two images which are here in a public repository, this and this, and I have not yet created these repositories yet, so my pipeline would definitely be failed this time too, and I believe it is failed. Let us check. Okay, let it fail because it's auto retrying or reattempting, but it's good to see what error it has produced. Now it is saying this thing is fine, login succeeded. That means it has logged into my ECR repository as well, and it do have those ECR value. That is fine, and even it gets these database username and password from the secret manager, and whatever the other value I have put it in a SSM parameter store, these are fine. And now it's trying to build dockerfile to the image, and let's see from where it has failed. Okay, error while executing command docker push. The reason, I believe before that it is failed. Command did not exit successfully. That is also understandable. So basically these two files are not here, and it's trying to use these images, so definitely it is not going to work. So now I have to create these two repositories myself. If I come here in a public repository and try to create a repository here. So what's the name of the repository? Let me check it here. So php-fpm 8.2, this is the name. this is the name. That's it. I don't need to do anything here. Just create it. This repository has been created. Now the other repository I have to create. Why I need to create these public repos? One is going to hold the image php-fpm 8.2, and another one is going to have composer. I'm just putting it since I am doing it here, so it is not required me to put this in action, but definitely if you will have working in your development environment or with the developer working, then definitely you will have trouble. So that's it. These are the name public ECR 9x3e72f. Is it the name? I believe it is there. Let me check. Is it the same name? Yes. And for the composer as well. So for the composer as well. Yes. So I do have these two here, but I just need to push my commands in here. View push command. It is saying first I need to log in. So since I have logged in earlier through my system, so these commands are here. Use this. So it should be successful. Now it is successful. If it is not, then you have to configure your own user with the proper commands over there. And I have covered this in my last video, and you can refer to my last video to have these things in detail, that how I have configured ECR through my system. So this login succeeded. Next command, it is saying you need to build. I have already built. I just need to tag this composer latest with this one. So let me check if I do have these command docker images grep composer. I do have, and even few times ago, and so a short while ago, I have just created a tag as well, but let me do it again. Now it has been tagged as well, and here they have the push command. So it is pushing. And in earlier video, what I did, I just created a private repository and pushing private images over there as well. But here I'm just putting a public image. Why I'm putting it? Because I just need to use this image, composer image. It's a simple composer image. So if you don't have the composer image, you just need to pull the composer and then push it here. Similarly, php-fpm 8.2 that I'm using, you just need to pull, or whatever the php-fpm, you need to tag it accordingly, the command that I have shown you, and push it there. Now this is done. Composer has been done. Soon it will be here. Now it is here. So similarly, php-fpm 8.2, I have already logged in. I just don't need to build. So I just need to tag it like this. But before that, do I have this image? Docker images. Just need to do that. So it is here. I just need to tag it. I've already tagged it, but I'm doing it again. And then finally I just need to push it. so it might take some time to push this image. So it is here. Now I have both public images are here. Let me try to do again release change, and let's see if it is building it or not. So now it is pushing the build Docker image, and it will be pushing it here in my private repository. So it is here, but very soon it will be here. Now this has been succeeded, and very soon it will be in succeeded state. So let's see. Now these two has been built. Let's verify that I do have image here. Yes, I do have image with the two kind of things. One a latest tag, and another one is a what we call it commit ID. Commit ID as a tag, and this as well. So image is here. Now it's time to use this image to automatically deploy on ECS. So now I need ECS as well. Let me go to ECS and trying to create it. I don't have any cluster here. So cluster name is cluster. You could use any name. And what I'm going to use it here, AWS Fargate serverless. That is fine. Monitoring and everything, that is standard. And soon it will be created in here. So one thing I just need to verify the container name I need to use my blog app. So let's create it. Now this has been created. So create inside the service, but before creating a service I need a task definition. I just need to create a task definition in here. So just name it my blog app Laravel, like this. That's required. I don't need this much resources because since my application is small, but if needed then you could use these CPU and memory that's are here. Oops, yeah, that's are here. So I'm just using a least one task execution role that I have created earlier in my last video. I'm using the same thing in here. Or if you need to look into it, what inside the task execution role, I just need to go inside the role, task execution role. Let's see, task as execution role. What's inside? Amazon ECS task execution role policy, Amazon RDS full access, because it is using RDS and it is using task execution. So let's get back here. These two are here. My blog app. This is a container name, and that is a container name. I have used it here also. And here I just need to put a repository, a private repository here. So my private repository URI is here. I'm just using it, and tag as well. So it should always be pointed to latest. So whatever the latest push over there, you can use it. Since I do have these two tags as well, if I will be putting or pushing more images in here, then latest will be with the latest image, but these tags will be there with every image. So if you would like to roll back to some previous images, you could easily change a new, you can easily modify or create a new task definition and just put the tag over here. So that tag application will be running with that tag also. So container port, I have used 8080 inside it. Container port name, that's fine. That's it. Yes, I need Amazon CloudWatch. This is fine. In here, I just need Docker configuration as well. So sh start sh, because earlier I have used this much long command, but since I'm using here, I just evolve or use a simplest way. I have created a script over there, start.sh. I just need to start the script as soon as the container will be started. So that's it. Now it has been created. Let's get back and just try to create a service. Launch type with the latest, and it will be a service. Task definition, revision latest. Service name, my blog app. Service name could be anything. Replica, I just need to decide task 1. You could have as many tasks as you want, but for a demonstration purpose, I'm using 1. Deployment option, that is fine, just leave it like this. Networking, that is fine, no need to change anything in it, but you could change whatever in what subnet you want and in what VPC you want to run your ECS cluster, and similarly accordingly what security group you need. And public IP is on, yes, that is fine, no harm in that. And I just need to add a load balancer in here, because container, once a container has been up, if you have seen in my last video, that container's IP will be activated, and as soon as that container lives or it is been up, that IP address is been utilized. But if that container has been killed or restarted, then public IP is definitely is going to be changed, because it's a new container. So if you pointed your DNS to that specific IP and container has been restarted, you would need to keep changing your DNS to point to the exact container. So the solution is to use the load balancer. So load balancer will automatically point it to whatever up ECS task or ECS container, and it will be pointed over there. So we do have two options, application load balancer and network load balancer. I will be using application load balancer and create a new load balancer, that is fine, whatever the load balancer name. My blog app -alb, I'm just using this, and it is saying a grace period. I'm saying a grace period of 120, so you could have this for you and you can check whatever it is. I'm just putting it 120 here, and that is fine. Create listener, target group is fine. Health check protocol is also fine. And do I need to do anything in here? I believe no. That's it. Just create it. Now it is saying, now this all thing is start doing, and it is saying it is doing in a cloud formation. So cloud formation is an infrastructure as code. So it has passed actually all those things here, and it is creating all the thing in place in here. So one by one it will be creating all these resources. Elastic load balancer has been created, and it might take some time. So you don't need to know exactly what's going on here, but for inside I'm just showing it to you. But definitely it will be quite helpful if you also know the cloud formation. And by the way, if you need to understand the cloud formation as well, please comment below, and I would be happy to create a detailed video then how cloud formation is work and how you can use it practically. So it might take some time, and as soon as it will be up, I will be back again. Let's check the load balancer that it has created or not. It is provisioning a load balancer. See, it has created a target group as well. Let's go to the target group, and here we do have the health checks, and I just need to modify it and need to put, because my application, when I'm just doing it like this, let me show you the application here. If I am doing it like this, here I have network place, so 200 200 200, and then it will be automatically redirecting to post. So it has redirection in place, and I need to add the redirection as well. Either we just need to put every code as well, the success code we are going to define it here. So I'm just saying 200 to 309, everything is been considered as success code. So just put whatever you want as per your environment requirement, and this is a bit of a lazy approach. I'm just putting it like this. Now it is saying 1 out of 1 task is in running state. Okay, where is the task? It should be here. Now the task is here. This is the public IP, and if I go to the public IP and just put 8080, it should be accessible. Yes, it should be accessible. Let me try to add something. Test, and directly adding this, directly adding this using IP of container. Okay, this has been added, directly adding this to IP container. Now gets back here, where it is, I believe it is here, my blog app, and this is a target group, this is listener, and it is saying view load balancer. Let's go to the load balancer, which is the same. Let me close it. This is the load balancer, and here we do have the DNS name of our load balancer. So earlier I was accessing it on 8080, but now I'm just going to access it directly on port 80. Let's see if I'm able to access it. Yes, now I am able to access it. My blog app is a load balancer DNS, and now this DNS name, this name, you can easily point any DNS service, either Route 53 or GoDaddy or whatever the DNS you are using, to point to this load balancer DNS. So as soon as anything comes up over here, it will be goes to this target group, and this target group is going to link with this any running container. So this is up and running, which is fine. Now we need to modify our pipeline to put anything which is coming from here directly to deploy to the ECS container. So what I just need to do, what I did actually, I just, it has two stages like source and build. I just need to edit and add the third one as well. So I go to edit, and in the bottom add stage. The stage name is deployment or deploy, whatever you want. So this stage is here, and it is saying the add action group. Now come to the action group, and action name is deploy. Action provider, I do have the action provider CodeBuild and code deploy as well. And as soon as I have Amazon ECS, so I will be using Amazon ECS as well. And in which region I am, North Virginia, which is fine. Input artifact, I will be using source artifact. Have you remember, source artifact is when the code is been fetched from version control in pipeline stage 1, which is source, and source artifact is being used by CodeBuild, but CodeBuild is already been done, so I need to use build artifact. And then it is saying in which cluster it is going to apply. Cluster it automatically fetches, and service name, that is fine. And these things are optional, you don't need to do anything with that. Done, and this is also done, and this is going to save. Now as soon as anything has been added, it gets from the source and then build and then deployment. So let's check that with release change. It might take some time to build, and let's see. Now it went to deployment. These two stages are successful. Now it is going to deployment, and it is saying my blog app status created, and I can also see what is going on inside this. Now it is saying one task is healthy, one it's in a creating state, and as soon as it will be up and running, this container will be stopped. Since I have put a required container should be one, so at a time only one container will be up and running. So if you put two, then two container will be running, and on every deployment two container will be deployed. Now it is also in a running state. It will be doing all the health checks and everything, and it takes about 55 seconds to 1 minute. And then now this has been up, and the previous one has been stopped, and it is deactivating. So if I come here, and this is my DNS, and I try to run it well enough, it is been running. This is how the application has been deployed and running all the time. So now I do have everything in place. Let's try to do it. If I'm pushing anything to my repository, will it working? is here. Let's put anything in dockercompose.yml. Since it might not be in use, dockercompose.yml. Just putting anything. Okay, get add dot. Now this has been pushed. Let's see if the pipeline will be start working or not. Let's see first. Okay, this is here. Now it's time to check. See, this has been activated. Pipeline has been activated, and now it is in progress state. So now it will build, and if I do check my ECR, it is here, ECR. I do have ECR, and I will have with the latest and a new one as well. So that's it about that how it has been updated and deploy your application directly via the CI/CD pipeline. This is how we are going to do it. If you do like my content, you could consider liking this video, subscribing to my channel. So get back to it. It might take some time to deploy this application. It is in this place as well. Now it is in a deployment phase, and here is a deployment phase, deactivating, and then it is in a pending state. And if we check, see how it is just leaving the commit ID and moving our latest one to different images as well. So this is about it, but before winding the video, let it be completed. And now the deployment has also been successful, and I would like to thank you